Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Put a Ring on It Season 3 Episode 4. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You do not want to have to search for the videos. Now, I don't put all the fancy graphics with the, the little strip where it says click and then you hear the bell go ding. So I'm just going to need y'all to do it, honey. Okay, just go on, do it for me. Now let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Otis is still trying to rationalize his trash behavior. So Dr. Nicole is trying to tell him exactly why we cannot focus on what is happening with Charlena because we have to focus on him because it's coming from him. He's like, yeah, sure. Okay. Watch your tone. Okay. I do not like the way that you're speaking to Dr. Nicole, but you know what it is? Otis just does not respect women, period. Okay. It's not just Charlena because I don't know if Dr. Nicole picked up on it, but Otis was being an a-hole, like straight up and down. So he said, Dr. Nicole isn't hearing him or acknowledging when he's right. Sir, you just want her to co-sign your BS. That's what this is. So it's time for his decision. He said yes to the second date, and he did that to be spiteful, and he ain't fooling me. So then she asked how Charlena felt. She was like, I'm okay. I hope he enjoys himself. It's giving passive aggressive, but it's okay, girl, honey. And you should hope he enjoys himself. Please hope that she takes him off of your hands. So then she asked about her date with Brent, and she starts talking about how smart he is and how he wanted to be an astronaut, and Otis being all petty talking about, I did too. Then he gonna say in his confessional, she actually met a real Buzz Lightyear. Okay, Woody, she sure did meet a real Buzz Lightyear. Don't be hating, honey. Don't hate old Otis. So she said, yeah, he's really a great listener, and he'll absolutely be getting a second date. Child, not absolutely. Otis said, oh, okay, well, I also hope they have a great time. This is about to be a mess later on tonight at home. Do y'all hear me? A mess. Moving forward. Dr. Nicole said the passive-aggressive way that you two behave is going to cause problems. And is. So then she asked about Shorty. And Shorty said Hollywood was a great man and a great listener. And she said their connection was so good that she just had to pull back. So then Dr. Nicole asked if she wanted a third date. And she said no, that she wants to work on things with her man. And she can't do that if she continues to date someone else, knowing that she really likes the someone else. She said, Hollywood is great, but a third date will make their connection stronger. And I don't want to give up on, Kenneth too soon. Too soon? Girl, it's been 3 whole years. 365 days times 3. Give up on him too soon? Girl, you tried to ditch him and he followed you from your job's parking lot. What are you talking about? Y'all ain't got time to play with y'all. It's her choice, honey, but I would truly reevaluate this relationship. But child, it is yours to keep. So now it's Kenneth's turn. So Dr. Nicole asked how it was being out with someone showing that mutual interest. And he said, I wasn't surprised because, every woman gonna fall in love with me when she get with me. You heard me? Well, she didn't say you heard me, but I like to act. Y'all know I like to give it a little zhuzh. It be that accent, though. It's all fun and games till you start to like her and then you showing up butt naked in a French coat to her apartment unannounced. That's the vibe that Kenneth gives me. Now, I don't know if he gonna do that or not, but ever since I heard him lurking in that parking lot, it ain't been right with me since, honey. And I can't unsee it. I can't unhear it. And yeah, it's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me, big dog. So Kenneth said, yeah, and they actually knew each other, like they worked together. So she said, Shorty, how was that? She said, well, she did tell me, may the best woman win. Here goes Shay. Shay over there talking about, ooh, wee, honey, because y'all know Shay thinking to herself, couldn't be me. Y'all know Shay like to tussle, honey. Ooh, this a fool. So Kenneth also said no to a second date. And he said Shorty has the playlist to his heart. Yeah, she's the Monica to your see murder. Shout out to No Limit Soldiers. So then Shorty said she's not overly invested in his decisions. She wants him to make his own decisions. Kenneth said that he's happy that she's not going out with Hollywood again because she already has a Louisiana hot boy. Okay. On to Fonzo and Shay. Fonzo, baby, You are sweating bullets. When you raised that arm up, I said, what in the muddy puddles is happening here? Shout out to Peppa Pig. Why are you sweating so? Child sweating like he going to the electric chair. So Dr. Nicole met with them and they talked about fidelity. So Shay said when they're out, he will say a girl is his friend, but won't introduce her. Basically, she's Casper, but she can spot a woman that he's touched a mile away. They give it away every time. Every time. Oh, that's my friend. Baby, that is the oldest trick in the book. Let me tell y'all a story time. It's not really a story time. I had one, okay, that ex, and I called him out on a date when he was supposed to be at home, and he told me that the girl was his cousin. Mind you, she gets up and runs out of the restaurant after I approach him and her as his wife, honey, as I should. And I'm like, cousin? Well, hey, cousin, why wasn't she at the wedding with the other 200 plus guests? And why is the cousin hightailing it the hell on up out of here? Child, if I was Shay, I would cut my losses. She is too fine to waste her best years on Alfonso. And you got a brain too? So for those of you that don't know, she's not all looks. She's actually smart, very bright, and she has a degree. So I'm just trying to figure out what is it that you're in love with, because it's got to be the lifestyle. That's got to be what it is. It has to be the glitz, the glam, the cars, the piece and chains, the open shirts, the man boobs. It has to be that, because Alfonso is giving absolutely nothing. So she said they were out one time and a girl came up and asked him for money and he gave it to her. Well, baby, unless she was homeless, I would have cussed the hell out of Alfonso. Do you hear me? Why did you give this woman money? She said that he didn't even acknowledge her once, acted like she wasn't even there. Why do you keep allowing him to get away with such blatant disrespect? Why? This cannot be true. Like, this has got to be a story made for TV. Child, I thought mine was bad. The fact that she's here for a ring is beyond me. Child, it's above me now. Moving forward. He was like, yeah, that was one time. One time is too many. Okay? Ooh, y'all. The stories I could tell y'all. The stories I could tell. He's like, yeah, I always introduce her. Well, if you always introduce her, she doesn't seem to remember that. This is typical F-boy-ish. Do y'all hear me? I swear they never deviate from the script. They read out of the exact same manual and they all behave the exact same way. So Dr. Nicole is like, well, y'all are laughing about it, but it's causing her pain. She cries when she talks about it. So is it worth it to hurt her? And is it worth you being hurt? Dr. Nicole, I was just about to ask why she was laughing. I'm like, why are you cackling about this? I mean, I guess you could laugh about it if you weren't still living it, but you're still in the middle of it. So what are y'all skinning and grinning about? So Shay said, I don't want to say yes or go through with the marriage if I'm having doubts. Girl. In the next scene, Dr. Nicole tells them that it's time to turn up the heat. All 6 of them are going on dates at the same place at the same time. And their job is to stay focused on their date and the person that they're with. They need to trust their partner and be confident in themselves. Well, baby, that is dangerous with this group. That is dangerous. So we move on to the car. Otis and Charlena, they're talking in the car about the session, and he feels like he was having to defend himself. She was like, no, she was coming at us both, not just you. He's like, yeah, okay, right, okay. I cannot stand the way that he speaks. I really cannot. I can't stand him. Child, I don't know how she does it. Over in Shay's car, she's in the car fussing about Fonzo playing Barney and Friends when they're out. Sir, stop it. I can't stand a man that's too friendly. I cannot stand it. Please put away those pearly whites, skinning and grinning at everybody we pass. Everybody know him for the wrong reasons. I cannot stand that. Over in Shorty and Kenneth's car, she's saying she's happy they weren't the ones in the hot seat. All right, don't get carried away now, Shorty, honey. Y'all got y'all stuff too. Back with old Otis and Charlena, he's telling her to tell the whole story. If you gonna tell it, you need to tell the whole story. He's trying to act like she's lying. Otis, it doesn't matter what part of the story she tells, you will still be the villain in the end. Doesn't matter. So you can save it. Back with Shay and Alfonso, child, he's still lying. In the next scene, Otis and Charlena, they're having a shot before the group date, but he don't want one. He was like, yeah, I'm going to work out. She was like, in your necklace? In your jewelry? He's like, yeah, I'm going to do that. She was like, oh, we starting to do that now? So child, they having banter back and forth, and she wants to take a shot to take a little bit of the edge off before his date arrives. Yeah, Otis doesn't need any drinks, because what I've noticed that's been a pattern for the last 2 episodes, that when he drinks, it magnifies the ignorance. So please keep him off the alcohol, honey. So So then he asked her about Dr. Nicole yet again. Sir, why do you keep asking her about a session that you didn't like and thought you were being targeted? I'm not understanding. Why do you keep wanting to talk about that? She said, well, I know what I need to work on, but do you know what you need to work on? He said, everything. She said, what do you mean? Girl, don't question it, honey. He does need to work on everything, but he's being passive aggressive and he on that BS and I ain't got time for it. So then his date Milan arrives and she's excited about their date and she meets Charlie for the first time and she's like, you're pretty. I know you're from somewhere. No, you don't. Charlie has one of those faces. You know those faces of a person that looks like you know them from somewhere but you've never met them before. They have a familiar face. That's the type of face that Charlena has. Because y'all remember I told y'all she looks just like my cousin? They have that face. So her first impression of Milan was she looked like a little girl. Now, Charlena, we don't have to do all that, child. Okay? Ain't no need to put her down. She does have a baby face, but that's what not wearing makeup since you were 6 will do for your skin. Okay? Child, we know how the girls, as soon as they can mix up some eyeshadow and some makeup, honey, they putting it on. So it's no reason to put her down. She didn't do anything yet, okay? Because we do have to watch them. But she's done nothing at all. Honey, it's the ponytail that makes her look young too. So it's the ponytail coupled with the no makeup, so it makes her look a little fresh-faced. So she's like, yeah, and she's not his type. If she's naive, then she's his type. Moving forward. Charlena goes, well, tell me a little bit about yourself. Girl, this is not your date. This girl does not have to tell you nothing about her. But she did. So then she tells her Otis says she looks young. She was like, yeah, and I wasn't going to say this, but he did tell me that you looked very young. Why does that matter right now? What is happening here? Child, okay. So they go ahead and they leave for their yoga date. In the next scene, Shay is in the restroom getting her wig right. And she said it's going to be hard for her because no woman wants to see their man out with another woman, consensual or not. Shay, then why in the world did y'all agree to this show if you aren't strong enough to see them go out with someone else? See, I know this about myself. Okay, I know me. I can't see my man go out with another woman, so I am not about to open Pandora's box. Not happening. You have to know you. Everything comes at a cost and at a price. So if you know that you're not well equipped to handle those things, then don't go out. Don't do it. So she starts crying about it, and he was like, she just started crying, and it just showed like, man, she just really loved me. Almost made me cry, but I'm not about to shed no tears. No. It didn't make you care enough not to cheat. Shay, do not lose yourself in this. It is okay to love him, but you need to love you too, sis. I know that sounds cliche, but it's the real. In the next scene, Otis and Milan, they're in the car on the way. Child, it was so dry up in there. She's like, yeah, I was kind of sore from the heart. It's like my legs and my butt and my thighs, just everything. He's like, what? Wow. Okay, gotcha. Oh, child. This man is not interested in her at all. This is merely to make Charlena upset, and he is not fooling me. Because, baby, the way that he is talking to her is drier than a Popeye's biscuit. She's like, so why did you want to go out with me again? To spite Charlena. But let's hear what he had to say. He said, yeah, because you're fun and, you weren't negative about anything. He lying. So she's asking about the rules and whatnot. She's like, if I wanted to kiss you, I couldn't. He said, you could try. Ugh. I really hate when they ask those questions. They ask those things every single season. So they get to the yoga, right? And he's like, yeah, Charlie's going to be jealous of my date because partner yoga requires a lot of touching. It's not tantric yoga. She should be okay. I think you're going to be more jealous than she is. So, child, here comes Brent and Charlie and Charlie's flowers. Baby, let's see if these flowers make it home. He going to tear them flowers up. Oh, child, you better put them flowers away if you want dinner, honey. I'm just saying, if you want to eat tonight, you better not go in there with them flowers. And why are you bringing the flowers in here? Why didn't you leave them in the car? And Brent, you look much nicer with relaxed clothes on, child. So her and Brent, they come in. They do look nice together, though, and they sit down. And here go Otis. Wow, they're coming to the same class. Otis, were you present when Dr. Nicole gave instruction? Like you didn't know. Boy. So here go Charlie. Yes, he's here with his daughter. Stop it, Charlena. Just stop, okay? That's not his daughter. She's a grown woman. Focus on your own date, honey, and on your own makeup. She was like, yeah, I just didn't want to give it too much energy. Sound like a lot of energy to me. Otis over there shaking on his yoga mat and whatnot, trying to play it off. And Charlie is talking to Brent about the date. So she was like, were you nervous? He said, yeah, I was nervous about the date. She said, were you nervous about the date or the big old dude? He said, the date. What are you going to do to me? I know that's right, honey. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Child, don't nobody care about what Otis is doing. Remember, honey, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So Charlie starts stretching and whatnot and asking for Brent's help. Here go Otis. She's trying to get my attention, but I'm focusing on my date. Well, how do you know she's trying to get your attention unless you're paying attention? Seems like it worked to me. So they do the yoga. So Milan and Otis, they kind of struggle just a little bit. And so after they get finished, he runs over there to kiss Charlena. And she's like, no, go wash your hands. Charlie couldn't wait to get over there. That was embarrassing as hell. She's like, how you giving me a kiss on your date? Let me tell y'all something. I hope everything goes smoothly when she gets home, because y'all know how Otis is, honey. From what I can see these past 2 episodes, I wouldn't trust it. In the next scene, Shorty and Kenneth are waiting for their dates, and he's like, I hope we can get this over with so we can get back to us. She's like, yeah, but for now, I'm having fun. She's like, you're not gonna act up, are you? This is what I think. I feel like Kenneth only acts up with Shorty. I don't feel like he would get bucked with her date. And that's just what I feel. So he said, if I see somebody touching you, I'm going to check that. She's like, well, so you're going to get up from your date to check my date? Dr. Nicole would not approve that. So he getting all riled up and whatnot. And she's like, ooh, you riled up. Okay. I think Shorty gets a little bit of enjoyment and excitement from seeing him jealous. And girl, that's not cute, because this is the second time that I've looked at her facial expressions and heard the words coming out of her mouth, knowing that it's going to cause Kenneth to be in an uproar. So why are you doing that? Child, this is a mess. I'm starting to notice that Shorty does little things to see how he's going to react to it and see how jealous he's going to get. So they're talking about how he's going to act on his dates and how he's been acting on his dates, basically like he don't care. And she's like, so what are you getting out of it? He said, I know what I want. I'm just trying to get some clarity. Child, she want him to like one of those women so he can focus his attention elsewhere. And she ain't fooling me. Kenneth is like, nah, I mean, you want to be with me. Like, it's in your heart. I feel it. Child, she ain't never getting rid of him. Not never. She's like, okay, but you got to be real. Like, we're going through this to do one of 2 things. Put a ring on it or go our separate ways, right? And I don't think you're looking at the reality of both of those things. Honey, she is trying to make sure she makes it crystal clear. We ain't going to be together if ain't no ring being put on it. But I wouldn't even tell him that, child, because you know he and I already went down to the pawn shop and got you a ring. Kenneth, I'm just playing, child. Ain't nothing wrong with a pawn shop ring, child. Ain't nothing. Do you hear me? But, child, he gonna go get that ring so he can propose. So you giving him this ultimatum don't make no sense. She definitely brought him on here to let him go safely. Okay. So in her confessional, she was like, I feel like he doesn't want to address the issues, because if he does, it means they're going their separate ways. Yep, exactly. It is very chilling how much he cannot let her go. Like, I'm no expert, okay? And I'm not trying to diagnose him and whatnot, honey. I don't know what they got going on. All I know is signs that I've seen in my own relationships. But this codependency is scary to me. Like, I know they say the man should love you a little bit more and like you a little bit more, but not to this extent. I think I'll pass. So she says to him, you want happily ever after, right? He said, yeah. She said, well, it may not happen. If it's not working, I'm leaving. Ooh, child. In the next scene, child, because this is where it's about to become a fool. Shay shows up for her date with Asar, and Asar is 39 years old. He's from NYC, and he's now in Atlanta. And he reminds me of old shoulder shaking Frank with a little bit of edge. When he got out of that car, I said, look at Frank, honey. Bounce them shoulders. He said women like to date him because he's fun and he got his shit together. So Shay said, that she could tell that he had it together and that he's very attractive. So they order some tequila and whatnot so they can take a shot. And he's like, I'm trying to get you loose. She said, you trying to get me loose? He said, okay, no, I want you to be comfortable. And she said, I feel like I can do that with you. Okay, Shay is grinning from ear to ear. Now, Shay, keep this in mind, that you are skinning and grinning on your date. Honey, you deserve it after him passing out dollar bills and whatnot. So she's like, so what did you think when you saw me? He said, I was like, man, she look good. Side note, I hate this hair on him. Like, I know to each their own, but baby, okay, definitely not my type of hairstyle. Ooh, I hate it. That's just a side note. She said, okay, so elaborate. And he did, baby, and she was smitten. Talking about, ooh, it's getting hot in her. Okay, Nelly. Okay, child, keep on your clothes. So they take a shot. And he said, to new beginnings. And she said, and? He said, hopefully companionship. And child, well, you can forget the last part. Shay, now you doing all that. Now don't get hype when Alfonso walk in with his date. Because Dr. Nicole gave y'all an assignment, so I don't want to hear nothing about it. So the chef comes over to start the hibachi and whatnot, and he asked if they wanted a big fire or a little fire, and she's like, ooh, make it big. Baby, that man made that flame so big, they had to scoot that chair back. I'm like, girl, protect your wig at all costs, honey, because it gets flammable depending on the products that you use. So you talking about you want a big fire, and you might be walking out of that ball. So baby, then here comes Tasha. She's 41 from the ATL. Tasha giving a little bit of 90s, honey. She got that ponytail going. She ain't make that swoop fully. She got that bang coming down on the side. She didn't swoop it all the way over, honey. It's just, child, I don't know what it's giving, but it's about to give something. She said what she looks for in a man is confidence. And I was like, come on, 41. She does look great for her age, because I would not have suspected 41 had I not seen her open her mouth and say she was 41. Because, 40s is the new whatever age you want it to be. You're only as old as you feel. She says she wants to be with a tall, ambitious man. And she's ready to have a good time. So inside, Shay and Asar, they're talking about his 5-year plan. And in walks Alfonso in his flashy red shirt and his necklace. She's like, hello? She said, he just walked in and acted like I was Casper. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be out of the norm. I mean, you have been the friendly ghost in the past, so he probably didn't see you there. I'm just kidding, child. I'm just kidding. But why would he speak and y'all are on your dates? Like, y'all supposed to be ignoring each other. Like, he's not supposed to go up and be like, hey, Shay. So she's totally thrown off now that they've walked in. This was a setup. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all what I noticed. Why is this date in a private room with nobody else around? Now, everybody else had extras in the background. There was some people over there at the yoga studio. There are people out at the dates when they go out to the restaurants. They even have somebody outside when they're taking walks in the park. But this date is just the 4 of them. Okay. So Asar tells her that she needs to focus on the big kahuna. He was like, focus on me and this hibachi. I know that's right, y'all, but she ain't gonna be able to do it. So Shay said, yeah, Alfonso, and this is what she said in her confessional, he over there kikiing with his date while my date is genuinely trying to calm me down. Well, then why are you focusing on him? Focus on your date. And why wouldn't he engage with his date? I'm confused. She said, yeah, they just sat next to us as if we didn't know each other. So his date is making small talk with him, right? And Shay is getting more and more pissed. So then she said, you're going to be in trouble when you get home. So Shay couldn't focus on her date. And she was like, what you say? Were you talking to me? Because you was like looking this way. So I'm just trying to figure out if you were speaking to me. So Tasha was like, what? Me? She was like, yeah, were you talking to me? The lady said, no, I didn't, sweetheart. I wasn't talking to you. And if I was, I would look directly at you. Shay was like, Fonzo, mute your person. Ma'am, you started speaking to her first. You started with her. So Shay said in her confessional, yeah, she was saying something, Fonzo, but I don't know what she was saying. And, from the head and the hand motion, it seemed like something bad. Well, if you heard her say something, Fonzo, you knew that she wasn't speaking to you. So therefore, and thus and such, you was just ready to get it started. She was like, anytime a woman do this, and she did like a little hand motion, she was like, it ain't right. So then Shay was like, I'm talking to him. So Ty said, well, I'm super grown. I am a super grown woman. You're mad because I'm pretty. Say what now? Okay, Ty, that's how you kind of lost me, child. Both of you are beautiful women. I don't think she's mad because you're pretty. Let me tell you something. It could have literally been anybody. It could have been a Muppet baby. And Shay would have been pissed because Alfonso has tortured her so that now anything he does, she's not able to handle it. I've been in that space. He could literally be talking to a school marm, a nun. It doesn't matter who he's talking to. She's going to be uneasy because that's the kind of foundation that they've built. Their whole relationship is built on infidelity. Honey, it's a whole fool. So they're getting into it. Fonzo just sitting there. Sir, are you going to say anything? Like, I'm guessing he must be used to this, because y'all, he was just sitting there like nothing is happening. Shay said, you better tell her. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. So then she stands up. So when she stands up, her date stands up. Let me tell you something. If I was a SAR, I would have been back in the car. Honey, I would have been on the I-10 by 10. It is no way that I'm about to sit up in here while you fight over your man. And I'm going to hold you back. And your man ain't even holding you back. Absolutely not. Oh, no, ma'am. Tasha said, well, you can say something, but you're not going to do nothing, no. So Shay said, Fonzo. So then Shay gets in the confessional and she's like, Fonzo just disregards my feelings. And instead of stopping me and stopping his date, he's just sitting there laughing. So now Alfonso is like tapping his date. He's like, sit down, sit down, sit down. She's like, yes, sir. I'll sit down for you. Not yes, sir. Child, what is happening here? So now her date up trying to stop her while he's just sitting there looking. That tells you all that you need to know, Shay. I mean, well, you already knew all you needed to know when he was passing out dollar bills down at the local Goodwill or whatever y'all was doing, child. Whatever's happening, this ain't working. Okay? And it just don't even make no sense. So she's telling Shay that she need to grow up, and Shay is telling her she need to shut up. And Fonzo was like, well, a key thing that Dr. Nicole said, this is what he said in the confessional. She said we were to ignore our partner's dates. Well, you would get a gold star, Alfonso. Because according to Shay, you've been following Dr. Nicole's rules even before you met Dr. Nicole. Because you always focus on somebody else other than your damn woman. So her date said, you know, I felt like a ref in between them, like I was at a boxing match. This is just embarrassing. Shay, why are you going there? This doesn't even make any sense. You are out on a date, but focusing on what he's doing. He said, I was trying to get the attention back on me, but it wasn't happening. So finally, Alfonso gets up to calm Shay down, and he walks towards her. So Tasha is in the back like, I don't know why y'all signed up for this if it's going to be a problem. Honey, I know that's right. That's what I'm saying. Shay steady telling her, you need to shut up. And child, she steady talking. So her date is telling her to look at him. He's like, look at me for 1 second. Just look at me. Whole time, Alfonso walking towards them. Shay is like, I'm about to get the ASAP. So Alfonso trying to take her out, but she walking towards the lady and calling her all kinds of obscenities. And baby, she picks up a plate. I'm like, okay, now hold up now, honey. She ready to do some time. Ma'am. Not a whole plate. Not assault with a deadly weapon. What is going on? Production. Honey, we don't need the shot that bad. Shay, why are you walking up on this woman? Why? Alfonso too worried about getting his shirt wrinkled. He can't even step in. But Shay, I want to say this. You were getting your whole life before they came in. Taking shots, cheersing to companionship. The bottom line is this. When he got with her, he had multiple women. So she knows how he is. So she doesn't feel secure. So she's going to always feel like it's another woman that will want to deal with multiples as well. So now, since you built the foundation on some bullshit, you're going to always be in an uproar. You're going to always be angry. And you're going to always be upset. But this was just some foolery. You started with this woman. And baby, she was ready to finish it. And that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about the last 10 minutes of this episode. What did you think about Shay walking up on this woman and get ready to get it started? Okay. She was ready to get it going. And I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen in the next episode, but it's going to continue. And then we're going to see Shorty and Kenneth's date because we didn't get to see it. Ooh, child, this is a whole fool. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.